Hi, Julia.
Hello.
Hi, congratulations on the win. It was a pretty fast finish. Did you expect the fight to play out like that?
You know, I never expect finish fast, but looking at my story, like how I'm fighting and so on, you can always expect that. We was ready to fight all the 3 rounds. If we need to, we have the plan everywhere, in striking, on grappling, like how to do a whole fight. Like, you never know how a fight gonna finish, and it happens how it happens.
And in this matchup, people were looking at it like you have the advantage on the ground. So were you surprised that she engaged with you in the ground and didn't try to get away quick?
I just grabbed it. Oh, she tried. She actually, when I got to the legs, like for the takedown, she actually stood pretty good posture and so on. So I just changed a little bit plan here, how to take her down, and I did my job later.
And of course, this is in her home country, a lot of attention on her and stuff. How did it feel to play kind of the upset role? And do you feel like now people are going to start giving you more respect?
You know, that's not the first time when I'm fighting in a fight where is everything prepared for my opponent. And the best fights that I fought in my career was prepared for my opponent. And this is one of them. But as I told already, this arena, it's not my enemy arena. It's my home arena also. And I would love to fight in London more and more because I'm feeling here like at home. That's my home also. It's Europe. That's the closest city. It's culturally, there are a lot of Lithuanians. So we have Roger Gracie Academy here. I have a lot of people here who can come and cheer. And it's so close to Lithuania, so people really easy to come here to watch my fights. And if I will be successful in that division in the later fights, it's going to be more and more Lithuanian audience here. And I really hope to fight here again, for sure.
And Media Day, you told me you feel like flyweight will show your best version. I know it was a pretty quick fight, but physically, how did you feel competing at flyweight?
I love myself in the flyweight. I love it. I love how like my body is moving in flyweight, and it's better. That's better for sure for me.
And do you have kind of a date or an opponent in mind for what you would like next?
I don't care. I never choose my opponents. Whatever UFC was bringing me, I always said yes. I never said no to any fight. And I'm not going to do it later. I will say yes for anybody.
And one more for me. Is it safe to say flyweight is your permanent home now?
Yes, I'm not coming back to bantamweight and for featherweight for sure. No, flyweight and only flyweight. That's it. That's my home.
All right. Thank you.
Julia, thank you. Are there any flyweights that you see in the division that you feel you match up well with?
I don't care. I'm not looking like that. So like it's up to UFC. My work is to fight. Whatever they bring me, I'm fine with everything.
And the title fight is coming up soon with Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko, the rematch. How do you think that goes down?
I'm a big fan of Shevchenko. So I think she's gonna bring her belt back, but I like Grasso also. She has a very good boxing and everything can happen. But yeah, I'm a fan of Shevchenko.
Thank you. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Julia, hi.
Yeah.
A lot of the narrative going into this fight was the weight cut, the weight cut, the weight cut. Do you feel now that all of those questions can be put behind you for good now? You've proved everything you needed to prove. You made the weight, you had a great performance. That's it, done. No more questions about weight cuts from now on.
I hope so. I cut it weight not even to 126, it was 125, so it cannot be questions anymore.
Absolutely. And what were the major differences that you made for this fight in terms of preparing for the weight cut? Was there anything different nutritionally or different in the training to prepare for cutting those extra 10 pounds?
My conditioning coach, he changed my conditioning a bit, so we did some extra work to make my body lose weight more, and the preparation for flyweight was not like in 2-3 months. It was a work for 10 months. I was working for 10 months to be in that fight. And also we have a specialist to help me with my with my supplements, how to use it and so on. So that boosted my metabolism faster. So yeah, something like that.
Do you think going forward then, in order to prepare for those weight cuts and stuff, do you need to have big periods of time between fights, or do you think you can be quite active throughout a year?
I think with the time, I can be very active. But right now, it's the very first weight cut for me, so big. So I think I will need some time to recover for sure. But later with my career, I can be very active, and I like to be an active fighter.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Julia, over to your left.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think that was your 10th armbar finish in your career. What makes the perfect armbar finish, and how are you able to be so successful with that technique when everybody knows that that's what you're going for?
Don't prepare that. I'm not preparing for armbar. I never drill armbar anymore. We stopped drilling it when I was a blue belt. It just comes to me. It's natural for me.
Do you think you have the most dangerous armbar in the UFC?
Maybe.
Thank you very much.
They actually all came in the first round as well, so you're thinking of changing your nickname maybe to the Armbar Queen or something?
I would like people to learn how to spell my name and surname.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Evening. Bonuses tonight go to Paul Craig, Tommy Aspinall, and Danny Roberts versus Johnny Parsons. The gate tonight was 15,078 for 2.5 million USD. We had two transports, Daniel Marcos and Yanel Ajmuz, and open up to any questions.
Done it.
Hey.
You know, I feel like we ask you this every time, but, you know, crowd, again, amazing, that main event, very loud. What's your thoughts on this trip to London?
Trip was great. I mean, it feels like home, right? Like we've been here, I guess, 4 times in the last 18 months. So for us, coming off a pay-per-view in March, where it was a very intense week, big week, lots going on, big card, Dana and the whole crew, everyone here, it felt a little bit more manageable, but it felt like home, right? Like we've been in the O2 so many times now. I think for our crews, for the teams, it was fairly straightforward. Really nice to be in the city. The city also felt a little quieter this week. I don't know if everyone's watching the Ashes or they're up in Liverpool for the Open, but it was, great. I think we had, 12 fighters from UK and Ireland. We had 12 different nationalities represented. So like, most of the cards that we do in London, there's a real celebration of European MMA with, your requisite Brazilians and Americans fighting as well. So it was great. It's tremendous being back here always.
Cool. What do you think your schedule looks like for the UK coming forward, right? You've got two, like you said, 2 this year. One of those was pay-per-view, and we had Leon as the champion, so it made sense. Do you think it could still be 2, 3 a year, or do you think you're going to slow down, maybe just let the market sort of stay hungry?
For the UK?
Yes.
No, I think we're going to continue with 2 a year at a minimum. I think what we're probably going to do in 2024 is move outside of London for one of the fights. So I don't think we're going to have 2 fights per year in London, but you never know what Dana wants to do depending on, who's holding the belt and where people are ranked. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's been a while since we've been in Glasgow. It's been a while since we've been in Manchester. A lot of people, we want to get back to Dublin. There's a lot of places we want to go. So expect that to take on a slightly different complexion next year.
Whenever people talk about locations in the UK, if you guys go to the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, is often brought up as like a big venue. Is there any interest in that, or are you just going to stick to arenas and focus on knowing what you can produce here?
I think, generally sticking to arenas unless there's some special circumstances. Stadiums are tough. I mean, you've been to most of the ones that we've, the 6 that we've had or whatever the number is. They're tough. They're big. It's not the best viewing experience, but it's fitting for when the stars align. You've got the right fights, the right moment in our calendar, and we can de-risk in terms of weather. We can de-risk in terms of production costs. If there's the availability of some sort of local support, government support, it might make it a bit more manageable. But for us, the sweet spot is an arena with 15,000 people.
So it needs a special fight, like, say, Tom Aspinall versus John Jones in 2024, something like that?
I mean, he's got it all mapped out. If he's going to Paris, he's going to sit there and watch the Gane fight and take on that winner, perhaps. We'll see that happen late 2024.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, just
Yes,
over here. You mentioned Dublin there. Obviously, Sean O'Bannon made her UFC debut tonight. It seemed like there was a lot of push from the UFC ahead of it. Obviously, didn't go her way. But is the Irish market, is that one that you're looking to reach back into to return to Dublin next year?
Yes. Yeah, the short answer is yes. It was pointed out earlier on by one of the key guys on our digital media team that next July will mark 10 years since the Conor fight. And, top of the list for sure. We want to get back. We want to get back at some point, just not sure when.
Are the UFC actively looking to sign more Irish fighters? Reece McKee was just re-signed. Caelan Loughran just added. It seems a lot of people are expecting Paul Hughes to be the next.
Yeah, I mean, that's a question you got to ask Sean or Mick or Hunter on that one. But certainly, if you see the last couple of years, several more athletes coming into the mix, and I think that lends itself well to returning back to Ireland at some point soon. Sorry. Yeah,
Michael Venom Page was in the audience tonight, and he's now
I saw that.
a free agent. Would the UFC have any interest in him?
I mean, perhaps. I've got no idea. You assume that we would, given the fact that he's here and maybe he's a free agent, but definitely a question for Dana. I think there's, we were talking about it the other day, a long list of individuals who've come over, have done really well in other promotions and have come over. And, I mean, look at, Gaethje and Chandler and a few other guys. It'd be pretty exciting to add him to the mix, for sure.
And the only guy in the kind of towards the top of the heavyweight division that doesn't seem to have anything booked yet, as far as I'm aware, is Sergey Pavlovich. Is there any idea what could be happening with him next, or would he be next in line for a title shot after the John Jones-Stipe fight?
Not that I know. Not that I know. Sorry.
Dave down here. I know the pandemic threw off plans for global expansion, in particular with Africa. But could you provide an update on that? Because I remember when I spoke to you a few years ago, you were very enthusiastic and passionate about touching down there. So what's the status update with that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're making progress. We don't have anything definitive to report. We've been having a number of conversations around what it's going to take, what country to go to. If you've been listening to some of Dana's interviews and Lawrence's interviews over the past 4 or 5 months, like, it's starting to gain a bit of momentum. Again, nothing to report now, but I'd be confident confident saying that maybe mid to late next year, maybe 2025. But it's top of the list right now in terms of new territories, new countries and continents we've never been to.
And obviously, you've been scouting this for a while. Do you have a short list of countries that are top contenders?
We do. Yeah, I mean, first of all, you got to look at things like, where does the infrastructure exist? Where's the suitable venue? We're not going to go to a big rugby pitch that's outdoors. We're not going to go to a big soccer stadium. So it's going to be an indoor venue. South Africa, Rwanda, Senegal, maybe Cameroon. I think there's more. There's a number of projects that we believe are starting to gain a bit of traction to build more, let's say, westernized arenas that are managed well and are suitable for our sport, like a traditional kind of hockey or basketball arena. So that's the first question that we need to answer. The second, and this all comes down to Dana, is where do we want to go based on what athletes we want to have on the card? Who knows, what the next move is with Dricus. Maybe South Africa does make sense. But Izzy's been campaigning. Usman's been campaigning. So nothing to report yet, but something that we're confident will happen in the next couple of years.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks for all the support this week.
All right, mate.
Yes,
Sorry,
Tom.
I didn't see you there. How's it going?
I'm all good. I'm all good. Not as good as you. That was a seriously impressive performance. Picture perfect. What did you make of the whole experience? The walkout, the celebration. You were very emotional after it, and the stepping elbow and the right was brilliant.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. Yeah, I think everything was just as planned. It couldn't. Well, no. To be honest, I thought it was going to be a 5-rounder, but I think it's just a credit to I'm really, really well trained. You know, I've trained with so many good people over the years. Obviously, I trained at Team Carbon since I was like 14 years old. You know, massive thanks to them guys who have helped me. And I've trained with Peter Fury for years as well. Amazing boxing coach who's helped me out loads. Obviously, I've been with my dad. And so, mate, these are guys who don't need recognition. Do you know what I mean? These are not people who are like trying to be famous and trying to get public recognition. These guys know how good they are. And I just want to say a massive thanks to all the guys who've helped me in the training camp. Everyone who's helped me over the years. There's too many, mate. I'll sitting here and thanking people all night because I've been involved with martial arts since I was 8 years old and I'm 30 now. So just massive shout out to everybody who's helped me over the years. It's not gone unnoticed. And I think it's shown. Like, I'm so well trained, and I think now I'm really maturing as a person, as an adult, as an athlete, and I think I'm going to be UFC champion of the world, UFC heavyweight champion of the world for sure.
What did you make of Jones responding to your call out so quick as well?
John Jones knows I exist. Woohoo! That's a win in itself. I'm buzzing with that. Like, yeah, what I want to do, I've been saying it all week, is I want to win my fights going forward, of course, but also another goal of mine is, like, I want to motivate John Jones to stick around and fight me. Like, that is my absolute dream, mate. Like, the thought of that. Mate, you're from Atherton. I'm from Atherton.
Atherton represents.
A guy from Atherton fighting John Jones, mate.
Wild.
Oh,
Wild.
my goodness me, that would be incredible.
And, you know, you mentioned your biggest influences earlier and the guys that have helped you get to where you are today. You know, your dad, what he's done for you over the past year, put together an elite heavyweight gym over numerous places, St. Helens, Wigan, so many different places, so many guys from different parts of the country, just in terms of what he's done for you over your career and over the past year as well.
Right, my dad is such a good guy. Anyone who's spent any time with him will tell you. Everyone loves him. And not just that, the guy is a serious, smart guy when it comes to this sport. He's been involved with MMA for like 30 plus years. And yeah, just massive shout out to my dad. He's been there since my first training session when I was around 8 years old, doing like traditional jiu-jitsu, throughout the boxing sessions, throughout wrestling, all kinds of different martial arts, mate, that I've been involved with. My dad has been at every single session, and anyone from any gym that I've ever been to will know my dad as well because he's been there through the whole time. And massive shout out to my dad for the best training camp that I've ever had.
You know, you mentioned Gan and Spivak afterwards that you was going to be there for that fight. But after being out for so long, do you not want to get back in there straight away? There's Pavlovich waiting there, isn't there, as well? That could potentially be on the table, couldn't it?
I'm easy, mate. Throw me in with anybody, but I just think that fight makes sense. Like, it's in Paris. I'll get a little cheeky trip to Paris, have a few beers, eat some frog's legs and all that, chill out a little bit, and hopefully work for TNT Sport as well while I'm there. And yeah, just be able to watch the fights, be involved with it, build the next fight up. I think that just works really well for everybody. But mate, I've been matched up with Pavlovich twice before. Yeah. Both times he's pulled out, which is, I'm not saying that he's scared of me. I'm just saying that's what's happened. And we're all going to fight each other anyway. So what does it matter what order it's in, really?
Well done on a picture perfect performance, mate.
Thanks, my brother.
Tom, you mentioned about Paris. We've seen you fight Spivak before and how that went. Cyril tweeted that he thinks you should be careful what you wish for, and he'll see you in Paris. How do you think you match up against Cyril?
I better be careful, apparently. Yeah. I think I match up pretty well against him. I think I'm equally as fast as him. I move equally as well. The difference is I can grapple, and I've got a lot of power. And I think that's pretty undeniable at this stage of my career. He's like, I've got a lot of knockouts on my record, mate. I have to touch you once, and I wasn't even throwing heavy tonight. I thought it was going to be a 5-rounder. I didn't mean to knock him out. I thought it was going to be a 5-rounder. I'm not even joking. Ask any of my team. I was pretty sure that that was going to be a 5-round fight tonight, and just takes one shot, mate, at heavyweight, especially with me throwing him.
You've been open about how, you know, the first few months after the knee injury was shit and how horrible it was for you. You came out to Tyson Fury speaking before your music, Was there something to link to that with your own mental health and combined with what he said and done for people?
Yeah, did you like that, by the way?
I did like that.
It was pretty nice, wasn't it? Well, it's actually on a song. It's on a Meek song. I'm not even really a fan of like UK rap or grime or whatever it is, but that's the intro to the song, and then it goes into a Meek song called Take Losses. And I just heard the song, and like I say, it's not really my style of music, but it's about like persevering through the hard times in life and stuff like that. And I just really wanted it to be a part of me coming back and showing everybody what I can do. And I don't know, I have to watch the walkout back, but it felt special to me.
You talk about persevering, so then the payoff, right, is getting to come out here in London in front of the crowd. They're singing the song. What sort of buzz was that for you to be actually just sit there? You looked like you were soaking it in after the fight and just taking a moment.
No, it was an absolute buzz. I forgot how enthusiastic people are to touch me. Yeah. I'm like walking out, spreading my arms, and people like, it's like, oh, you're like arm barring me, pulling my arm back. Oh, it was so amazing, you know. It sounded quite quiet in the back, actually. Like before I walked out, I couldn't really hear the crowd too much. And then on the walk, it was just absolutely insane. It felt like absolute madness, overwhelming, like movie stuff. And I got in the octagon, mate, felt so calm. I've never felt as calm in my life. I could see everybody. I could feel everything. I could hear my coaches from the beginning. It was so loud. Mate, it was so loud in there. I could hear like my dad and the rest of the corner so clearly. And it was just special, mate. It was amazing.
Nice. Two more quick ones from me. You came out and threw a kick hard right away. Was that to sort of say to yourself, right, knee's fine, we're good?
No, I knew the knee's fine for a long time now. Like I've been training with heavyweights, top level heavyweights, each and every day for the last 6 months at least, possibly more. I knew the knee was fine. The reason I threw that was a plan in the fight, but I was planning on throwing the head kick a little bit later on because we saw a lot in the training camp that he slips the jab like to his right, so we drilled it a lot. And I kind of faked the jab or threw the jab, I can't remember, and he slipped to the right. So I just threw it automatically. I didn't throw it with any... Did it drop him or not? I can't remember.
Rocked him.
Rocked him.
A bit.
Yeah. Well, it was a good one. I liked it.
And then last one for me, you talked about this perseverance, and I get the impression when we spoke to you this week, you know, you come across as a different sort of figure. I know we used to speak all the time, and you're like, oh, I'm not really ready for John Jones or those guys, and even Cyril, you're sort of like, he's very, very good. You come into this week, I feel like, with a lot more confidence. Did you have to go through the adversity of the knee to get to be this person today and be more confident?
It sounds madness. Maybe it doesn't sound madness after what I've just done, but I was telling everyone that knee injury was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Honestly, it really was. Like, I had some of the darkest times of my life, but I feel like I learned so much from it, and I really figured out who I am in the adversity of it all. And I really figured out what I want to do and who I want to surround myself with and how I want to spend my thoughts and my time and everything moving forward. Like, I just feel so good about everything, mate, and I really, really needed that reset.
Hi, Tom. You came on our podcast for Fitness.
Yeah, hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah, good, you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good. You mentioned in the podcast that you just said then you went through some dark times with the knee injury, and you said at one point you wanted to quit. Tonight, seeing the crowd, having that massive win, does just make you realise that you can get through anything in life?
Yeah, that's a massive confidence builder for me. Really is. Like, I knew I could do it, but to show everyone else that I can do it, I feel like I've got a lot of secrets that people don't know about in my game. And only really, like, people who train with me loads know how good I am, seriously. Like, because what I've shown in my fights is so minimal to what I can actually do. And I've barely had the opportunity, really, to show anything. But it feels great just to, mate, there's some people, I read some shitty comments, and I know you shouldn't read the comments, but people screenshot them and send it me. I'm like, well, you fucking stop doing that shit. But people saying, oh, his career's over, he's never going to be back, and blah, 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 all this stuff. Stop it.
You said, like, I love you said it's like a reset, because we all had lockdown a few years ago, and that was a massive reset for everyone to actually evaluate their lives and everything. So is this like a big moment for you to tell everyone that, do you know what, sometimes you do need to stop or reset, and it does take a dark time or a hard time to then strive to where you're going to go in life?
Definitely. And to be honest, I was getting a little bit overwhelmed in the whole, I was on a really, really good roll, and I felt like I couldn't really stop it, and I couldn't really say no to the next fight, because I was just like, oh, I've been good to this far, I'll be good for another one. And then, you know, the UFC offered me another fight that I think I can win, and then they offered me another fight with more money, a new contract, all this good stuff, and I just feel like I couldn't say no. And now I really know like what I'm about as a person, and I can come through the dark times. And if there's anyone out there watching this, so like I'm not trying to be an inspirational speaker or something, but try and set yourself small goals. Like try and set yourself 2-week, 3-week goals to do stuff, because that's all I did to get through it. Like I set myself a little goal every 2 weeks, and I try and achieve that, because if you're just thinking, oh, it's never going to, like, there's people literally who said, well, what are you going to do now? You're going to get a normal job, or what's your plan going forward? I'm like, I'm going to be back, mate. Like, and for a few days, I didn't believe that I could be back, in all honesty. I really thought about quitting this sport and doing something else, because that was horrible. But we're back now.
I love that. That's so inspirational. And also, you said as well that you're fighting the most dangerous guys on the planet. I love that quote from you, because you're literally going in with them. Do you feel now this part of your career where you're going to become heavyweight champ? I know you are. Have you got to meet fire with fire now? Have you literally got to go in, like, no regrets, and just go for it each and every time now?
That's exactly how I feel. And again, that's where the whole reset of the knee injury and stuff, changed my mindset massively. And I really had a massive choice, mate, in that year, where it was like, am I going to really go all in on this sport, or am I going to keep dicking around and just half be in and half be out? And obviously the answer was, I'm all in, and I'm coming for everything now, and nobody's stopping me.
That's brilliant. Last one for me. Our podcast is called For Fitness Sake, as you know, and we're just trying to inspire people through the mind and body, the soul. What does fitness mean to you? You've been through the injury times, you know, physically, mentally. What is fitness to you?
Well, it's your health, which is the most important thing in the world. Like, if you've not got your health, you've not got nothing. And what I went through is really minimal compared to what some people are going through. And you just got to be grateful for what you've got, mate, because you got to look after your body, because this is all we've got.
Lovely words. Thank you so much. Well done again.
Thank you, mate.
Tom, over to your left at the back here.
Hello.
Hiya. You mentioned about the fact you'd felt at your calmest at the start of the fight. You hadn't felt that calm at the start of the fight before. When you got the finish, you charged across the cage like a banshee, jumped on the fence. That was an even bigger reaction than we've seen from your past wins. What was the overriding emotion when you jumped on the cage? Was it relief? Was it elation? What was it?
A bit of both. Mainly relief. I forgot how stressful this fighting stuff is, to be honest. Like, my anxiety level over the last few days has been very, very high. And that's something that you get used to when you do it regular. The anxiety is always there. You can't fight it, mate. The anxiety is never going to go. That's something that I've learned over all these fights and stuff, and all this pressure is that anxiety is going to be there always. And you can't win. You're not going to beat that anxiety. You've got to go with it. But it's something I kind of lost touch with over the year of being off. And, mate, I felt so sick today. I felt so sick that I've got to go out there and fight in front of loads of people. But when I'm scared, that's when I'm at my best, man. I'm dangerous as hell. Like, you put my back against the wall and tell me I can't do something, and you're going to be in for a rude awakening.
Talk about the layoff and how it was the best thing for your career, and the fact that prior to that you were talking about not quite being ready for that leap to the very top level. Now you are ready for that leap to the top level. Do you remember the actual moment where that transition happened and the switch flicked?
No, I don't think so. I think it just happened gradually over a few months. Like I said, at first, I was seriously questioning whether I want to carry on doing this anymore. But then I started watching the other heavyweights and thinking, actually, I'm a bit better than these, so I better get back to it. And I'm really happy I did. I absolutely love this sport. Like I said, it brings a lot of anxiety, but it's anxiety that I welcome and that I love, and that I just take it all in, mate, and I love it and I enjoy it.
Brilliant. And the last one from me, you've already broken down in short fashion how you feel you match up with Cyril. How do you feel you match up with John Jones?
I think I match up well. It's a dream fight of mine, and I think I'm young and I'm fresh. I've not got loads of miles on the clock. I'm big. I can do everything well. I'm fast. I'm strong. I'm heavy, which is unlike a lot of his opponents who he's fought in the past. And I just think I bring something different to him, and I think he knows that as well, or he should know it moving forward, definitely.
You think he'll stick around for you?
God willing.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Tom.
Hello.
Just your left. Your dad and head coach Andy seems to have assembled this team of UK heavyweight Avengers. Mick Parkin obviously got the win tonight. Phil DeFries defended his KSW title more recently.
Go on, Mick.
Do Do you feel that training with those guys has unlocked a new level in your game?
I do. I mean, I did train with heavyweights from time to time, but I wanted to, like something that me and my dad discussed, especially when I was injured, is that's what I want to do moving forward, is just train with heavyweights. I think that heavyweight MMA has its own rules. I think that heavyweight, like rolling and grappling with heavyweights, is way more exhausting than rolling and grappling with smaller guys, for sure. The punches and kicks hurt a lot more, and you need to be used to that, mate. You need to get your body and mind conditioned to a massive guy squashing you, punching and kicking you every day, not from time to time, every single day. And if you're not doing that, well, it wasn't I felt like I was struggling with confidence because I wasn't getting that all the time, and I needed to, like me and my dad thought, we need to start bringing guys in. And, you know, we've got such a great people around us, and, you know, it's just been great. It's just been so good, mate. And while we're on the subject, massive shout out to Mick Parkin. He gave me massive inspiration tonight. He absolutely soaked up the occasion. We always knew that Mick was good. Like, I've been training with Mick for quite a long time now. And we always knew that Mick had the skills to do it. But fighting in the UFC brings a whole other pressure than fighting on local shows, mate. It's especially in London. And I'm not bothered what anyone says. You feel it. You definitely feel it. And that can go one or two ways. You can either crumble under the pressure or you can thrive, and Mick absolutely thrived tonight. I'm so proud of him. He's the nicest guy ever, and he deserves everything that he's going to get.
Pete Carroll's trying to label your team as Team Big Friendly Giant. Does it get your seal of approval?
I don't know about that. Maybe. We don't have like a team name or nothing. We're just a bunch of good guys training together and trying to bring each other on.
Last one for me. You came in at a career heaviest weight when you weighed in. Was that by design, and how did you feel with the extra weight in there?
Yeah, I'm definitely heavier. I'm more muscle bound, and I've got less body fat than I used to have, and I need to give a massive shout out to my strength and conditioning coach Jamie and my nutritionist Sean just for helping me out with that. Something that I've really been taking seriously is my nutrition since I got injured. And I want to be as big, as fast, as athletic, as fit as I possibly can. I want to be the best version of myself as I can, and I feel like I'm pretty jacked these days, and it looks pretty good.
Tom down here. Dave Shore was just in here a few minutes before, and he said that they're probably going to look to go to another place in the UK because obviously they've come to London.
Who was that, sorry?
Dave Shore.
Okay.
Yeah, so are you going to be pushing for it to be Manchester next time?
Oh, that's another dream fight. That me and Manchester, oh my God, that is stuff that dreams are made of, mate. If I can be the guy to bring it to Manchester, that would be an absolute dream. I've been dreaming of going there and fighting since I was literally 10 years old, so I feel like I've been manifesting that for 20 years. I would love that.
And it seemed all fight week that you managed to put the injury to the back of your mind, but that must have creeped up in your thoughts when you were making your way back to the cage.
Honestly, it wasn't bothering me at all. And then about 3 minutes before I walked out, they started showing me getting injured on the screen, and I was like, fucking turn this off now. I don't want to watch it. I was just turning my back to it, like, I felt like putting my fingers in my ears. John Gooden saying, oh, his knee's gone. I was like, shut up, John, please. So honestly, I didn't really think about it. My knee is absolutely battle-tested in training. It's been battle-tested for months now, and I've had absolutely no issues with it since I've had surgery, so that's all behind me. Thanks.
Tom, I spoke to Mick Parkin earlier about this same thing because it was quite wild for me to see. But a couple of days ago, I saw Phil DeFries catch a live pigeon.
He's right over there. He'll do it again.
With his bare hands.
If you pay him, he'll probably do it again.
How important is it for you to have that sort of fight week camaraderie to kind of ease your mind?
Yeah, I mean, we got all the boys down this week, and it's been an absolute blessing. It's been a blessing because I'm with them guys every day. We keep it lighthearted. We have fun. And that's what I need. I can take this sport way too seriously. And I need to be like flowing in the cage. I'm not one of them guys who stands with his feet planted and starts throwing bombs. And if I start taking it too serious, that's what I'll probably do. And it's been a great week. Like, we've had such a good time. Phil won his fight last week. Longest reigning KSW champion ever. The guy's an absolute machine. Big shout out to Phil. Big shout out to Mick. Big shout out to all the guys who've helped me. And just thanks, guys, for just being there for me the whole way through. Thanks so much.
Congratulations.
Hi, Tom.
Hello.
Pierre from No Sense TV. I come from France. I have two questions for you. The first one, do you think Cyril Gane had enough time to improve his ground game after his last loss?
Yeah, I think he did. I think the guy's an absolute specimen physically. I think he's got a lot of skill. anyway, and I'm sure he'll pick up the grappling if he puts his mind to it, definitely.
Okay, thank you. Second question, do you want to step in the cage if he wins?
I would love to. That's what I'm trying to do, yeah. I'm definitely trying to do that. Do a little stare down on that and get the fans involved. Probably get booed, but it'll all be good fun.
We are nice people.
Oh, well, it'd be nice to be them when I arrive. That would be lovely.
And last question, are you not afraid that John Jones will not face you? Because you know it can be a problem for him and that he will retire after his fight against...
No, I'm not. It's one of them. It's not my goal. Like, I would love it to happen. My goal is the heavyweight champion of the world. That's my goal. That's my life goal right now. But John Jones would just be an extra bonus. Like, if I could get that, that would be amazing. But if he retired, I wouldn't be like, oh, John's retired. Oh, no. I would be upset, obviously, but it wouldn't bother me. I'll fight the next guy who's got the title, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tom, down here. I know you said that you want to convince John to stick around. Would going to MSG in November potentially be a way to do so?
Yeah, if possible, I'd like to fight on the lower down that card. Like, if I could fight on the same card against the winner of Spivak and Gan, I think that would be amazing because they fight in like 4 weeks' time, which is September. Then they got a few months to prepare for November. Like, that's perfect for everybody, I think. So, why not?
Cheers, man.
Just one from me. Hi, Tom.
Hello.
When I spoke to Gan recently, I know his fight with Jones didn't last too long, but he said he felt Jones wasn't fast. I wonder if you could gauge anything from Jones's heavyweight debut.
He felt like he wasn't fast.
Yeah.
Why didn't he defend his takedowns then? No, I thought John Jones was really good. I thought he did exactly what John Jones did, what John Jones does, and he didn't surprise me. I thought he did an amazing performance against him.
Thanks.
Thank you. We're done? Thank you.